I am Sarah Richardson and I'm currently an actor in training. I started doing poetry when I was 18, when it was sort of a thing happening at my school where I first heard about it, but then I dropped it, and then it's only really in the last 6 months that I started doing it again. Portrait poetry to me is like poetry that represents you as the artist. It's a poem that represents you and how you present yourself or what you want to write about or something that's important to you. I generally write about things that affect me, but they generally tend to be things that, you know, happen to affect some women things, political things, stuff like that. 18 was the first poem that I ever wrote. That was when I was 18. And that was about me. I'd always been like a sort of like middle of the road. I was never like really, really popular, and I was never like at the bottom of school society, but I was always in the middle of the road, and nobody really ever expected me to have like relationships or anything like that. I felt within myself, and like I saw my friends going off, not my friend, but like other people in school going off and like doing things, kissing boys, and nobody ever really thought that of me. And I remember someone once said the quote to me. Two girls were talking and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, you wouldn't understand this, you know, your hormones haven't developed yet," or something. And I was like, oh, fuck off. I'm horny too. I'm an 18-year-old who also was that. So that poem was like, look, I am all of these awkward things and everything, but you know, I still really, really fancy this person, and I still really want to do stuff with you. ASB is kind of about when there's someone you really fancy, someone you really like, and you just want to get their attention. So ASB is attention-seeking behaviour. So it's when there's someone, say in a pub, or someone you see quite a lot, and you're just there and you think they're like the coolest person in the world, and you're like, how the hell am I going to get them to look at me? And it's all the things you go through trying to get someone to like look at you and pay you attention and notice you. I would say those two poems are similar and are different in different ways. I mean, I have poems that are about very different things. Like I have poems that are about more politics or family members or something like that, but then I do also have more poems right down that line as well. So I say they represent that, and they also probably represent my style quite well. The way I perform and how I perform is represented quite well in those two poems, I think. I choose to perform, say, my poems because I personally don't think my poems read very well. I don't think like if you were to write one of my poems down on a piece of paper, I don't think you would get it, and I don't think you would get the meaning of it. And I feel like there's a certain way where I write it, where I've got a rhythm in my head, where I've got a way to say this line in my head, because that's how it has to be presented for the audience to get the meaning of it. And so that's why I perform them, because I don't think they would translate in any other way. I would definitely say the acting influences the poetry, and the other way around. I think I bring a lot of my acting into my poetry, like a lot of my performance style, a lot of my confidence when I'm performing. Like I wouldn't normally have that confidence just to be like, hi, I'm performing a poem, so my acting comes into that as well. And I think my poetry informs my acting as well, in the terms of how I see myself and how I want to present myself as an actor as well. The idea of openness is very important to me. I think there's, in two ways. In more of a societal way, I think there's a lot of things that are hidden behind closed doors that is just like, that's stupid. Like, we're worrying over tiny things, whereas there are much bigger problems to be dealing with. Like, why are we hiding women's sexuality or something when there's so much worse things happening in the world? And so that side of openness is really important for me to explore and want to happen in society. But also in my personal life, I believe in openness. I think honesty and openness is they're like two of the most important things.